Hey there, everyone. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Amber.
We're identical twin sisters from Southern California. While we may look exactly alike, sometimes we think that's all we have in common.
We invite you to grab a cup of coffee
Or a glass of wine.
and hang out with us for a little bit.
This is Hashtag Twin Life Podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, twin.
We're back.
We're back. Welcome,
Woo!
everybody, to the Hashtag Twin Life Podcast. We are now on season 3. We're so happy to be with you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our first season, a little bit shorter, a little bit more concise. And so we're going to be going all the way until, right before the holidays, right, twin? So right before
Yeah,
Christmas, maybe?
right before the holidays, I think.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but lots and lots has happened, so we'll kind of keep it short with the recap. But please remember that if this is your first time, please make sure you subscribe. If you listened a bunch of times and never subscribed or went and followed us on YouTube or any of that stuff, please make sure you go and do that because we really appreciate that. Also, leave a comment, give us 5 stars, and make sure that you guys keep in touch so that we know what's going on with you, while you guys know what's going on with us. But we've got a pretty cool topic this week. But how have things been going with you, twin? We're not gonna. We have so much that has changed since since the last time we talked. But
Yeah. So I'll try to keep it like kind of short and brief. But so I guess since the last time we talked, I had mentioned that I was going to be getting certified as a personal trainer, and I actually did do that. So I am officially a certified personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. Yes. So I chose them because they are like the most accredited. You're most likely to get a job right away by having that certification. So, which is the case because I got certified on a Friday and I had a job by Monday. So I am working at an F45 out here, not the same one that I was working out at, but one like right in the same community. And I'm loving it. It's tough right now with like early hours. Like I think I have to be there at 4:30 in the morning some days. So that's kind of tough, but I'm getting used to it and it's fun. So it just makes it pretty easy to do that. And then the only other thing is that Derek went on a work trip this week. He left this morning. He's driving to Fresno, just like 6 hours away from us. So he's driving to Fresno with like a group of guys, and he's actually has switched jobs. He does the same thing, but for a different company. And he is doing really well at this new company. Like, it's amazing how well he's doing now. I'm super happy for him because he just seems so much happier at this new company. And he also, what else did he do? Oh, he's running a house. So they have like, 40 people going. And then each house has like 9 or so people in it. And then he got assigned a house. So he's like going to be in charge of like 9 or 10 people in this house and, helping them to like, they're going to go and like do solar in Fresno in like a specific area. So he's really excited. I'm just really happy for him that like it's going so well. It's literally only been a month and it's already going so much better than like the last like 3 months. And Amber, like, like the last like 3 months at his other company was like freaking horrible, basically. So,
yeah,
it's just so much better now. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So how are things going over there? Good old Indy.
Well, I have now worked at my new job for 4 months. I think I was just starting maybe, or am I about to do my first week or something when we did our break. So I've been working there for 4 months now. I really like it. I'm actually surprisingly very good at it. I'm in accounting, which is nothing ever in the realm of anything that I've thought I'd ever do, except it's very similar to what I do around the house, if that makes sense. Like if you've ever been a stay-at-home mom, there's a lot of like budgeting and bill paying and calling vendors and kind of stuff like that. So it's similar to that. So I have this skill set. It's just on a larger scale, lots more money and lots more people. I've had to learn 3 different types of software. I've had to 4 different types of software. And I have my first review this week. This week coming up, my 90-day review. Yeah, I have a 90-day review.
Oh, wow.
So I know I just said that I've worked there for 4 months, but I've started 2 weeks before like my first payday or something. So it's a little bit over 90 days, but so I have a 90-day review coming up, which is pretty cool. And And then around the house, I mean, we got settled into the new place, and
Just the pets.
yeah, we've got a new pet. His name is Cooper,
And a cat.
and a cat. Did I not
You
mention
didn't
the
have the
cat before?
tuxedo cat before.
Oh, okay. So we've gotten a tuxedo cat, but the tuxedo cat we got in our old place, in our house in Lapel. So I don't know. I'm trying to like sort through the time period, but we got a tuxedo cat before we moved into this new place. The tuxedo cat, her name is Daisy. She's sweet, but she's very much a cat. Like she was kind of like very shy and stuff, but she and Louie have gotten along really well. And then we have Cooper, who is super sweet. We adopted him from a family. Um, I follow these rehoming groups here in Indiana. I started following them in San Diego actually, but or started following some rehoming groups in San Diego. So I've kind of just started to do that when other city we've lived in. So, but we found him. He's really sweet. We had another dog, Maggie, who I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about how horrible our experience was with Maggie. She was like a little worky Chihuahua, and she was awful. So awful she was very sweet. She had a really good temperament, but she was terrified of everything, which absolutely made me bananas. And she barked at everything, and she was like resiliently barking, like nothing stopped her from barking. And she had like this really piercing, just a lot. I think Ashley probably understands probably more than anybody because I would call her so upset. But
Yeah.
Cooper is sweet. He's already potty trained. The only reason that people were giving him up is because they had a 5-year-old pit, and they just found out they're having another baby, and I guess the pit bull started getting really like protective, so it started causing some tension between the two dogs. And Cooper's less than a year, so so they were rehoming him. So they brought him to us. He was free. He has all of his shots. He's already been neutered, and he's already potty trained. He's already kennel trained. He's just not as kennel trained as I like. Like I like dogs that are like go in your kennel and they go in there and they like when you ask them to, and there's no kind of pushback and they're silent the whole time. Cooper's going to take some practice on that, but he's a doll. We also went camping. We also took the family camping for the first time last weekend, so that was really awesome. It's for I can't say it was for a church thing because it wasn't through our church. It was more like a group of like Blake's group that he hangs out with on Saturdays and Thursday mornings. It's a bunch of men, and they planned like this mission kind of like camping trip for a bunch of believers to get together and like camp outside this new property that my boss actually just purchased. And so we all went out there for 3 days and camped, and well, actually it wasn't even 3 days, like 2 days, I guess, in total. We left Friday, got back Sunday. It was really, really, really fun. Landon had a blast. We were legit outside. Everybody kept saying we were glamping because we had like inflatable mattresses, and like we had this gigantic tent, and we had these really, really, really comfortable like reclining like lawn chairs or like whatever stadium lawn chairs, whatever they're called. So we kind of tried to make it as comfortable as possible, but it was a lot of fun. I was surprised actually that I liked camping as much as I did. I think I even would more like it if it was just me, Blake, and Landon, because there wouldn't be so much going on, and I wouldn't have to like Blake would like go off and hang out with guys, and then I'd have Landon, and then like there was some time with Blake and I, but not a lot because there were so many people to hang out with. So I think we may have to do that again soon, maybe on the beach or something. But it was fun. There's been a lot going on over this little bit of time.
All right. So the last thing is I forgot to mention is that Phoenix started kindergarten. So it's been pretty interesting. It's a long story, but he got hit by a kid on day 2. And this kid, I already knew he was going to be kind of a little, I don't know, I can't even think of another way to say this besides just a little shit. And like it's so funny because every parent I've said that to is like, yes, you know those kids. And I'm like, yes, you do. I feel like you can just spot them. And anyways, so I've kind of met the mom. It's interesting because he is very similar in appearance to Phoenix. He's clearly mixed with something. His mother is clearly mixed with something. So I kind of like day one was like, oh my gosh, look, another mixed child. Oh my gosh, look, another multiracial family. Oh my gosh, like we could all be friends. And then her kid, it's my son. So now I'm just like, okay, we're done. We'll see how the rest of the year goes though. So let's go ahead and just get into our topic now, because who knows what could happen in the next 20 minutes. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. So you sent me this article. So I don't know if you want to jump in and just kind of like talk a little bit about it.
So the article I thought was kind of interesting. The part that interests me was the headline, because it said the 5-day work week is dead, and it's from a website, Vox.com, and they kind of break down the history of the 5-day work week. Did you just hear Siri?
No, I didn't hear Siri.
Okay, she just popped up on my computer screen. What is happening?
I don't know.
Okay, so I thought it was interesting because as somebody who's like, you know, for the first time in my life working a 9-to-5 job, I literally get to work at 8 and I leave at 5. I just realized that a 9-to-5 job isn't a 40-hour work week, because if you take lunch, then it's not a 40-hour work week. That's why I work 8 to 5. But so I found it interesting because of the pandemic, I think a lot of people have come to this realization that, hey, I don't necessarily have to drive 45 minutes to an office every day. A lot of my work that I sit in my house and do on the computer and sit in an office all day, I can do that crap from home. And so a lot of people are just, you know, they're like, and that would allow me to spend some time with my family. It gives me, you know, I don't lose that 2 hours in my day for commute. I can take lunch with my family. I can, you know, spend time with my kids. I can, you know, in between meetings or calls or emails, like I can, you know, hang out and talk to my partner or whatever. And I think people just, you know, during the pandemic, everybody had to be at home. And so people most everybody, but learns, you know, that they can do that. The other thing too is, with the minimum wage, they're trying to raise the minimum wage across the board. A lot of people, you know, a lot of the restaurant owners and stuff are concerned because they're thinking that they're probably going to end up cutting the hours for like service industry staff. And because of that, or because they don't get paid very much as it is, they're like, well, why do I even bother? I'm not making much money anyway, blah, blah, blah. But the history of the 40-hour work week was the part that I found the most interesting, which was basically, and you guys can read it, I can link it in the description. But the summary was basically that, or in the 1920s, before that, there were many, many labor force like protests and stuff like that around in the early 1900s and the 20s. And, you know, they were basically trying to get to where their bosses couldn't tell them they couldn't leave work. Like you had to stay at work. No matter, you didn't leave till your boss told you that you were done with work, basically is how the laws were. And so people really fought for this concept of 8 hours is 8 hours of work, 8 hours to sleep, and 8 hours for anything else for the rest of rest of life, you know? So that was their concept. And so that's kind of how we ended up adopting that now, to where, you know, the work day is 8 hours, give or take your position that you work in. Restaurant, service industry positions can be could be more like 15 hours, but the general concept of a, you know, work day is 8 hours. So that was kind of the thing. I just thought it was interesting because working 5 days, I think some people are thinking, well, what if we worked only 4 days a week, but worked 10 hours instead? I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know if I used to do that. I never liked to work 5 days a week when I worked in a restaurant. I would rather work maybe 4 days, 2 doubles and 2 regular shifts, or 4 regular shifts, depending on how much money I made or whatever, and not have 3 solid days off, because I'd sleep one day, I'd be productive another day, and then I'd hang out with friends the other day, and I'd feel recharged for my work week. I don't really feel recharged right now with the way that my work schedule is, because I don't really get a day to just not do anything. Saturday is a lot of time family time. We're taking the dog to the park. We're spending time with Landon. We're running errands. And then Sunday we do church, and like that's it. That's all. And I don't get a recharge. So
yeah.
Do you think that, you know, are there any benefits, you think, to shortening that work week? Or, you know, do you think that we should just kind of leave it at 5? And
so I think that I think 10 hours a day is too long, to be honest. Like, I think people would be happier because every year, you know, they have that conversation about, are we putting the kids in school too early in the morning, right? Like, there are some schools that were starting kids at school at 7 a.m. Like, they're like, kids' minds literally don't work before 8 a.m. I don't know why you're even bothering putting them in school that early. You know what I mean? So there's
Yeah,
definitely
I think they do that so that the parents can get to work
right,
on time.
exactly. Because some parents do start at 7 a.m. So they start at 8 a.m. or whatever. And so I think like the biggest thing is like, I think that if they have like 9 to like Phoenix goes to school from 8:15 to 2:30 on a full day, right? That's like what, 6 hours. He gets like a lunch and then 2 20-minute recesses in that time. So like that's a lot. I mean, he's really only getting like doing schooling for like 4 or 5 hours a day, right? So, and I think that most people feel that their kids are in school for an amount of time that makes sense. Now, if you include like homework after they get out of school and stuff like that, like I feel like anyways, there's like an hour probably when they get home where they have to do an hour or two extra. So all together 7 hours of actual schoolwork, right? So I think like the thing with the work day is like maybe do it so that people work from 8 to 12 or something like that and they don't have a lunch break. They just have like they can have, you know, stuff at their desk, but then they leave at 1. You know what I'm saying? Or they leave at 2 or whatever. Like, I think it's 2, they would have to have some sort of lunch, but I'm saying like maybe 9 to 2 or something. Like, just like make it so that people still feel like they have time in the evening and they have time in the morning. And I think coming from like a health and wellness perspective, people need sleep. People are definitely not getting enough sleep because if you're, you know, you're not getting home from work until 7 o'clock at night. And then by the time you shower, you eat, you get your kids and stuff packed, you put them to bed, whatever. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock. And people probably don't fall asleep until 10. And then
I
now
mean,
we're
that's
waking.
literally my life right now is like I get home about I don't work far from home, but it takes me about 10 minutes to get home from work. I get home and then it's already 5:15 and now I've got to like whatever, you know, we finish straightening up the house and we make dinner and spend some time with Landon. And literally I swear I look up and it's 8:30 and I'm like, crap, like Landon needs to go to bed. I still have to get up and put him in the tub. I still need to figure out what I'm wearing to work tomorrow. I haven't packed lunch. I haven't, you know, done anything with my evening. And all I want to do is just sit here and chill. And in reality, I have so much stuff to do. And I swear most days I look up and it's 8, 9:15. And I'm just like, crap, I have still to be up at 6 a.m. I mean, honestly, I was telling Blake and some of my friends were like, or Ashley, I was telling Ashley and some of my friends were asking me, you know, like I don't get up at 5:30 in the morning to work out. I was doing that when I first started this job because I wanted to continue to keep up with my working out. But it's really hard to get up at 5:30 in the morning and work out and then still come home and have enough energy to function with like your partner and your son.
Yeah. And
I did not have that energy.
that's what I was going to get to was like from a health and wellness perspective, people that sit at desks for long hours a day the first thing is you sit at a desk for long hours a day, you can have lower back problems. It leads to obesity because of having a mostly sedentary day. And then you encourage people to work out. Well, if I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not trying to go work out at 5 p.m. at night. That's like not happening.
No,
You know what I mean?
because that
And
eats
people
your
are
entire
also,
evening.
yeah, it eats your whole evening. And people are also not trying to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to get up, get dressed, whatever, because, you know, like, because I want to get up before my kids get up or because they have to go to the school so early. And then if I can't, like the situation Derek and I are in right now, you know, I'm working all the middle of the day workouts, but like realistically, like Derek's schedule is great because we drop Phoenix off at 8:15. Derek can go work out and he can still be out of the house by 9:30. And he gets plenty of work done, you know, and yeah, he doesn't come home till like kind of late sometimes, like till like, I don't know, 7:30 or 8. But a lot of times that's not because he's like actively working. It's because like he has to take last phone calls or he just happens to have a really late meeting that particular day with somebody or because they work until 5, 6 o'clock at night, you know? So like, I think it definitely probably contributes, like the 5-day work week probably does contribute to the fact that like a lot of people in this country are in really bad health. They're not prioritizing health and fitness and wellness because they're so tired from working all the time. And even for me, like I've been trying to think like, how am I going to get my workouts in? Because like the times a day that I would like to work out are literally like, I like to work out early in the morning. I'm one of those, right? So I like to get up at like 5 or 6 in the morning and work out. But that was before the next day I would be getting up at 4:30 a.m. and having to go to sleep at 6:30. You know what I'm saying? Or 3:30. I'm sorry. I have to get up at 3:30.
Yeah, I think it makes it
So
really hard to try to get all that stuff in and like account for your energy. Because I was literally just thinking, I was like, something's going to have to give, and I can't really give anything else. Like, and so it's unfortunate because I would have loved to be able to keep up with like, you know, the physical routine that I had gotten myself in. But it's one thing to work out all day and then spend time at home as like a stay-at-home mom and like use my brain, but in a different capacity. But also, if I want to stop and take an hour nap because I'm tired, I can do that. I can't do that when I have to be at the office all day and I'm like, have to be conscious and awake and dealing with money and people's like accounts and, you know, stuff like that. I can't be just like halfway there in my head and passing out at my desk. And so I just need to I have to make sure that my brain is there. But also it's made me just feel better because I get home now and I'm not like worn out. But I would say that with the four, like, I don't necessarily mind the 5-day work week. I just know when I was picking my hours, I did not want to work 5 days. I only wanted to work 4. If I did not have to work, I'd only work that fifth day. If it was like a really busy season, I didn't have a choice, or if, you know, I just really needed the extra money. But I liked my 4 days on, 3 days off, and not having that kind of sucks right now because I feel like I'm kind of just like, I literally didn't do like when I say I didn't do anything yesterday, I literally just laid around and did nothing because the weekend before we were going like heads. Oh, hello, Landon. The weekend before that, we were just going, you know, crazy with all of our stuff. So
yeah.
I'm just
So what do you think?
Try to find the balance is hard.
What do you think would be like a good solution, like going forward? Like, you think the shorter work weeks or shorter hours a day, or like, I think that 5 days a week is fine, but if people work like in a more reasonable time frame of the day, I think that would be better, which means that maybe make them hours that you get paid at full time 30. But then again, that doesn't really solve the issue with the people that are in like on call, quote unquote, type of industries, like you were saying with the restaurant industry, or like if you work in retail or whatever, like those hours are very dependent on people's. On the one hand, it's those jobs are for people who need flexible hours, right? So people that work in restaurants or even people that work in fitness, like the idea that I could work on Thursday this week, but if I wanted Thursday off next week, I could have that off, is why people work in those industries. So the give of that is like, yeah, you're not going to get full-time hours. You're not going to get paid as well as somebody who's like in your position, like where you get, you know, you work, yeah, you get benefits, you work 5 days a week, all that stuff. You're not going to get those because that's the kind of job you're working in. So I sort of feel like, okay, those people that are in those industries, you're benefiting from the fact that it's a variable schedule, you know, like if you want to have a schedule where you work every single day the same hours and you're guaranteed those hours, then maybe pick a different industry. You know, that's not that industry. The restaurant industry is so up and down and seasonal, and like retail, same thing. So
I will say that there's part of that I miss, where I miss being able to just tell my boss, hey, I'm not going to work in 2 weeks. Where with my position here, I can't really do that unless, you know, I have to build up my PTO. You know, I have to like use the time that's allotted to me. I only get a certain amount of like kind of like we have these like emergency requests, like last minute requests off where you're just like you wake up and you're sick, or you have to take your kid to the doctor or whatever. But that stuff comes out of unless you use PTO to cover it, it comes out of your pay. So you have to like make up those hours because as an hourly person. So, and I'm required to work 40 a week. So I have to make up that time. And if I don't, I don't get paid for it. So I do miss that flexibility to where Blake and I were like, you know what, we're just going to, on next week, we're going to go do this. But I also, so I miss that flexibility, but I also like the stability that comes with the fact that like, our home is part of my benefit package, which I love. So there's no instability in my home ever. As long as I have this job, I get to live here for free, which is great. I like that having health benefits that are covered, that come out of my paycheck every single month. They're expensive, but Lana and I are both 100% covered on our health insurance, and I like that. I like having that stability. I like knowing, okay, so this is how much my paychecks are going to be. This is how much this one's going to be. This is how I'm going to get my bonus on the second check. I like knowing all that stuff because every single time every single month, I know that this is how much money is coming in. So I can account for it. And I know that all of our bills are going to get paid. As long as I go to work, all of our bills are going to get paid with some extra. And I like that comfortability. When I was working in a restaurant, it could be like, dang, I don't have to pay my car payment in 3 days. And then I work a shift and I make $50 and then I work, but last week I made $200 last week. So why am I not making $200 on this Friday, same day? But, this shift sucked, or my section was different, or, just stuff like that. Like all those variables that were I could not control. I didn't necessarily, wasn't good for budgeting. It wasn't good for saving money or making plans or any of that stuff. At least for me, I know people that have done it. I know people that have worked in restaurants and they have bought their homes and they continue to work in the industry. But I think a salary position or a guaranteed hourly position is something that makes it way more stable for life,
And I think I think probably to just kind of start closing a little bit. I think that there's pluses and minuses to all of that. I think that really the 4-day quote unquote work week really only, to me, is sort of like a first world / privilege type of problem. People that are concerned about that and complaining about working too many days a week are not people that work 3-4 jobs to pay their bills. You know what I'm saying? They're not complaining about, they're like, I wish I could only have to work 5 days a week for 40 hours and pay all my bills. You know what I mean? Some people that to them, that would be a privilege. So,
or people that own their own businesses that literally work all the time because they run their own business and they're never off call. They're always have to be always available to answer a phone call or take care of the problem. They always have to be available to that. So, I mean, entrepreneurs aren't out here going, man, wish I could only work 5 days. No, you work 7 days a week regardless. Someday you may not have to put out a fire, but generally you're always having to be available if you work for yourself. So, I think that's,
I think
that's
no, yeah, I was just gonna say, I think that it's definitely like I said, a privilege thing. I wish I didn't have to work this. And I guess there's other countries where they do have shorter work weeks or whatever. And maybe people would be more apt to go into the quote unquote 9 to 5 jobs if, when you got there to that position, you only worked 4 days a week and you had more Friday, Saturday, Sunday was actually the weekend and not just Saturday, Sunday. You actually had a day to recover from the week, because when you work the hours that you work, like you said, the only time you have to run errands or get anything done because things are not open before you can't go do things before you go to work, and things are closing when you get home.
I had to do my physical therapy just from myself working out at home because I could not figure out how I was about to go to physical therapy. The physical therapy office is 30 minutes away from my office for work. So it's not like I could go there on my lunch break and come right back. That wasn't something that I could do. So that had to go. I had to figure out another way, which I did. My knee is perfectly fine and completely rehabbed. I can go up and down stairs and jump and all the things that I was doing before. I have to take it easy. I'm not trying to go out here crazy, but I can run and the stuff that I wasn't able to do before. So in reality, I didn't necessarily need to go. I just needed to know what was wrong with my knee. But with my job, it's this, I was like, I can't do this. I literally can't go to physical therapy. You guys are open from 8 to 5. Who's out here going Monday through Friday, 8 to 5?
Yeah, they're not open on weekends.
Why have those hours? Why not at least have from 6 a.m. to 8? At least so that people can either come really early before work or after they get off work. I'm just it's a good thing. It's a good thing y'all aren't a customer service business because your hours are absolutely terrible. I don't understand how anybody's doing anything with you guys, especially since the doctor's office, so, but anyways, that was a good chat about that. Let us know what you guys think. If you think that, if you feel like there would be a benefit for you to have a 4-day, a little bit longer work day, but a shorter work week, or
the other way, same days, just get paid full time at less hours a day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Or that. and see, like, let us know what you guys think about that. Like, you know, we realize that everybody kind of works a different position. Every job has different hours, but, you know, in that typical 9 to 5 position, you know, I think there's benefits to both, but
Yeah.
anyways,
Do you have a go girl and no girl?
Yes, I think I kind of said it already though. I think my go girl would have been that I got, you know, I'm about to do my 90-day review. So that's pretty exciting. I'm actually really, really looking forward to that. I had to do a self-evaluation, and then my boss and her boss do an evaluation. So that will be Friday. I kind of get to hear what their thoughts are. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm looking forward to it. I think this is the first time I've actually had a 90-day professional like review before. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, my go girl would be that starting today is day 1 of me doing solo parenting for 2 weeks straight. So I will see how it goes next week. So by the time you guys hear this, I will have been doing the solo parenting thing for 4 days, because we're recording this on Sunday. This doesn't go up till Wednesday. So while you're listening to this, be rooting for me. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting. I'm still going to be working. I'm scheduled Monday through Friday this week, which is interesting because normally I have like 1 day off in the week that I'm off. So, but because I requested to only teach like the middle of the day classes, I literally am only scheduled for like 3 hours a day. So yeah, it kind of work out fine. I think I'll end up with like a good enough hours, but so yeah, so I'll be doing that, doing all the bedtimes, all the mornings, taking care of all the animals, taking care of everything in the house, like all the things, that Derek normally kind of like picks up the slack for, you know, here and there. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. So, but yeah, so that said, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys for coming back and hanging out with us for the last couple of years. It's really been fun to do this and record this, even through kids and crazy computers crashing and audio issues and whatever else. So, yeah, anything else, Twin?
No.
Nope.
Thank you guys for listening as always. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow.
Yep.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
Yep. All right. Bye.